operative workman to fit and adjust the stones of the dwelling, that all its parts may properly agree. So you, as the worshipful master of this lodge, are admonished by the symbolic meaning of this word to preserve that moral deportment among the members of your lodge which should always characterize good masters. You will also receive the charter and the various books and implements used in your lodge. The Holy Bible, the great light in masonry, will guide you to all truth, will direct your path to the temple of happiness, and point out to you the whole worthy of man. Compasses teach us to circumscribe our desires at every station, and rising to eminence by merit, you may live respected and die regained. The rule demonstrates that we should punctually observe our duties, press forward in the path of virtue, and inclining neither to the right nor to the left in all our actions, when we come to be in view. The Lion teaches us the criterion of moral rectitude, to avoid dissimulation between conversation and actions, and to make our prejudices coincide with the line of our being. The Book of Constitutions you are to search at all times. Cause it to be read in your lodge, that none may pretend ignorance of the excellent precepts within God. Now receive in charge the charter, by the authority of which this lodge is held. As its lawful custodian, you are carefully to preserve and duly transmit it to your successors in office. You also receive in charge the bylaws of King Oscar Lodge, which you are to see duly and promptly execute. Place in your hands this gavel, an additional insignia of your rank and office. Wield it, my brother, with prudence and discretion, and I'll sit you in the Oriental chair, and cover you with that distinction, which in this lodge it is alone your privilege to wear. The brethren of King Oscar Lodge and the fraternity, please stand. Worshipful Master, behold your brother. Brethren,
behold your master.
Your worshipful master. We are fortunate today that our master is going to finish the installation of his office.
Brother Installing Marshal, you will prepare and present the remaining officers by order of rank for their installation.
Brother Installing Officer, I have the honor of presenting Brother Irineo Belusan, senior warden-elect for installation.
Brother Belusan, you are elected senior warden of King Oscar Lodge and will now be invested with the jewel of your office. The level demonstrates that we are descended from the same stock, partake of the same nature, and share the same hope. And although eminence among us is necessary to preserve subordination, yet no eminence of station shall make us forget we are brethren. because he who is placed on the lowest spoke of fortune's wheel may be entitled to our regard, because a time will come, and the wisest knows not how soon, when all distinctions but that of goodness shall cease, and death, the grand leveler of human greatness, reduce us all to the same state. Your regular and punctual attendance is essentially necessary. In the absence of the master, you are to govern this lodge. In his presence, you are to assist in the government of it. Your fitness for the faithful discharge of such important duties has undoubtedly led to your selection for the office by your brethren. It should be your duty and will be your pleasure so to act as to justify their confidence. Brother Belusan, look well to the west. On your passage to the west, illuminate that light which designates your place and presence in the lodge.
Brother Installing Officer, I have the pleasure of presenting Brother Richard Storto, Junior Warden-elect for installation.
Brother Storto, you are elected junior warden of King Oscar Lodge, and will now be invested with the jewel of your office. The plum admonishes us to walk uprightly in our several stations, to hold the scales of justice with equal repose, to observe the median between intemperance and excess, and to act, to make our prejudice coincide with the line of your duty. To you is committed the superintendence of the craft during the hour of refreshment, and you will therefore be ever watchful. You therefore be temperate and discreet in the indulgences of your own inclinations, but ever watchful that none of the craft be suffered to convert the means of refreshment into intemperance or excess. Your regular and punctual attendance is particularly requested, and we have no doubt that whether at labor or refreshment, the high 12 of observation will not find you with your work, and the craft you superintend unperformed. Brother Storto, look well to the south. On your passage to the south, illuminate that light which designates your place and presence in the lodge.
installing officer, I have the honor of presenting Worshipful Brother Richard Sabota, Treasurer-elect for installation.
Brother Sabota, you are elected treasurer of King Oscar Lodge and will now be invested with the jewel of your office. It is your duty to receive all monies paid into the lodge by hands of the secretary, keeping a just and regular account of the same. Pay them out by order of the worshipful master and consent of the lodge. I trust that your regard for our lodge will prompt you in the faithful discharge of your duties. Brother Installing Marshal, you will conduct the treasurer to his place in the lodge.
Brother installing officer, I have the honor of presenting again Right Worshipful Russell E. Johnson, Secretary-elect for installation.
Brother Johnson, you are elected secretary of King Oscar Lodge and will now be invested with the jewel of your office. It is your duty to observe the will and pleasure of the worshipful master, to record the preceding minutes proper to be written, transmit a copy of the same to the Grand Lodge when required, to receive all monies paid into the lodge, pay them over to the hands of the treasurer, taking his receipt therefor. Your good inclination to Freemasonry and our lodge will induce you in the discharge of the duties of your office with fidelity, and thereby merit the esteem and approval of your brethren. Brother Installing Marshal, you will conduct the secretary to his place in the lodge.
Brother installing officer, I have the honor of presenting Brother Carlton Von Hardy, chaplain appointed for installation.
Brother Von Hardy, you are appointed chaplain of King Oscar Lodge. The Holy Bible is the textbook of the chaplain's calling. It is the great light of Freemasonry which forever sheds its benign rays on every lawful assemblage of ancient, free, and accepted Masons. From it we learn our duty to God, our neighbor, and ourselves. Teach from its life-giving precepts, and you will fulfill the sacred and important trust. It is fitting that the emblem of the sacred volume be the jewel of your office, and with it you are now invested. Brother Installing Marshal, you will conduct the chaplain to his place in the lodge.
Brother Installing Officer, I have the honor of presenting Brother Michael Maxwell Baldovan and Brother DeAndre Bedgood, Senior and Junior Deacons elect for installation.
Brethren Beldovan and Bedgood, you are elected senior and junior deacons of King Oscar Lodge and will now be invested with the jewel of your office. These rods, in which you will bear in the due performance of your duty, are placed in your hands as a symbol of your deputed authority. It is your province to attend on the worshipful master and wardens, and to act as their proxies in the active duties of the lodge, such as the reception of candidates into the different degrees of Freemasonry, and the accommodation and introduction of visitors, and in the immediate practice of our rights. The square and compasses, as badges of your office, are entrusted to your care, not doubting your vigilance and attention. You will now repair to your respective places in the lodge.
Brother Installing Officer, I have the honor of presenting Brother Charlie Bremner, Charles Bremner, and Alexander Enriquez, Senior and Junior Stewards elect for installation.
Brethren Bremner and Henriquez, you are elected senior and junior stewards of King Oscar Lodge and will now be invested with the jewels and rods of your office. You are to assist the deacons and other officers of the lodge in performing their respective duties. And when the lodge is at refreshment, it is your province to extend to visitors such attention as circumstances may suggest. Your regular and early attendance at our meetings will afford you the best proof of zeal and attachment to the lodge. You will now repair to your respective places in the lodge.
Brother Installing Officer, I have the honor of presenting Brother John Parrish, Marshal elect for installation.
Brother Parrish, you are elected Marshal of King Oscar Lodge, and will now be invested with the jewel of your office. You are invested with this baton as the symbol of your office. It is your duty to form and conduct processions of the brethren of the lodge on all public occasions, and to attend to such duties as the practices of our rites, and as the worshipful master may direct. Brother Installing Marshal, you will conduct the marshal to his place in the lodge.
Installing officer, I have the honor of presenting Brother Francesco Bruno, organist appointed for installation.
Brother Bruno, you are appointed organist, King Oscar Lodge, and will now be invested with the jewel of your office. Under the direction of the worshipful master, you are to conduct the musical services of the lodge, as harmony and strength is the support of all institutions. So may the harmony over which you preside strengthen and support every ennobling emotion of the soul. Brother Installing Marshal, you will conduct the organist to his place in the lodge.
Installing officer, I have the honor of presenting Brother Earl Hefner, Tyler, appointed for installation.
Brother Hefner, you are appointed Tyler, King Oscar Lodge, and will now be invested with the jewel of your office. As the sword is placed in the Tyler's hands to assist him, to enable him to guard against the approach of Collins and eavesdroppers, and see that none pass or repass, but such as are duly qualified and have permission. So it should admonishes us to place a guard over our thoughts, a watch at our lips, and set a sentinel over our actions, thereby preventing the approach of every unworthy act